Hello, everybody! Welcome to another edition of One Take Sunday! Special edition. Got some Sena 50C, or as I have the Harley Davidson 50C headset. I gotta say, overall, I like it. There are some drawbacks, but I think the pros outweigh the cons. But hey, let's talk about it. So, oh, and hey guys, if you see the Insta360 1X2 in the shot, then this is the 50C camera angle. This is the actual recording of the 50C unit itself. Just wanted to let you know that. As regards to firmware, my last video, I thought it was, firmware 1.6. And as I'm looking at the unit, and as I updated firmware, the firmware was actually the update for the firmware of the Wi-Fi cable, not the actual 50C unit itself. It was the firmware for the Wi-Fi cable, which was upgraded. So I am still on firmware 1, the original firmware. So for all of you guys and ladies that said, there's no difference in the firmware with the image stabilization, well, you're correct, because it's the same firmware. So, yeah, there's been no update to the firmware that I have. And it's good that the cable is updated. That's fine, because, it's an easy process to update the firmware whenever it does become available, I assume, as compared to with previous versions, where a lot of people that had the 10C Evo or the 10C Pro, I saw a lot of complaints about how hard it is to update the firmware, and a lot of them just gave up on it. So I'm going to assume that when the firmware is available for upgrade, that it'll be easy to do, because right now it's easy to check and stuff. With regards to image stabilization, it's decent. You've seen it in my past video. I'll throw it up more here. It's not great, right? And this is a gripe I have with it. We have like my Insta360 right here. My Insta360, has the whole bubble's 5.7K, and we have GoPros in 4K and probably 5K. I don't have a GoPro, and we have all these high resolution cameras that can film in high resolution, and they have image stabilization, where with the Sena 50C, we only get image stabilization with a 1080, with the HD setting. So, when am I gonna, luckily for me, when I record my stuff and edit it, it is in 1080p quality, which is fine. I upgrade it for the 4K. I upgrade the resolution when I dump it to YouTube, so it helps preserve that HD footage. Even though it says it's 4K, it's really 1080p HD. But it's just kind of a disappointment that I couldn't film in 4K with image stabilization if I wanted to, right? That's kind of a bummer. I don't like that. Okay, so another thing that was asked of me was, Brian, how is the nighttime recording? Thank you for the comment down below. I really appreciate that comment. And I don't ride much at night. It's not that I don't enjoy it. I kind of do. It's nice. But it's just not something I do. But while I was on my Clear Lake camping trip last week, I was able to get some nighttime recording. So let's throw that up on the screen right now. Here's some nighttime recording. And as we look at this nighttime recording, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It'd really help out the channel a lot. And if you haven't seen my first video on the 50C, please watch that. I'll link it below. I have been throwing up comments from that previous video into this one. So if you have any ideas or would like to see anything, leave a comment below, and I'll try to get into the next update. The next thing I want to talk about is the voice integration, the Hey S and the Hey... Well, they're both Hey S's. Okay, so with the Hey S, I don't want to say it, Siri. Don't go on. Okay, good. So when I say Hey S, you pause, you wait, and then you give it the command.
Kind of a drag, you have to wait, but it is what it is, and it's still great. It's really nice to control it. Then with the Sena, the Hey, wait a second, then Sena, you just say that, and then you immediately say the command. So it's like, Hey S, stop recording. Like that, it just went off. So yeah, with the Siri, you wait, say the command. With the Sena, you do it instantly, which, once you get used to it, it's not too big of a deal. It's pretty nice. And, I really like that the Sena has voice commands because, when I'm doing motorcycle travels, I imagine a lot of you are like this too, like, we're so far out in the boonies, camping and whatnot, we don't get any cell service for Siri to even work. So it's so great to have Sena to control, some basic functions like the stopping and starting of music, the volume, and stuff like that. So it works out really well, and I really like it. And so speaking of volume, I figured that out. That was kind of a gripe in my last video. I'm pleased to say that I did figure that out. So what I have to do is I keep the volume on my iPhone turned all the way up to the maximum. When I do that, the Bluetooth volume and the Sena voice pretty much match each other, which is really nice. And one of the settings in the Sena utility app is that you can control, the ambient noise around you when it gets louder for the volume to go louder. And that works fairly well too. I have it set to a medium sensitivity, and it works fairly well with that. But before I got this unit, what I did is I had this application that would, lower my volume to almost zero when I come to a stop using GPS it's called Volumatic on iOS. And then when I speed up, it would increase the volume. And it worked really well with previous headsets, but this one, it just doesn't work because as it lowers the Bluetooth volume, my phone volume, the Sena volume stays elevated. So while the music sounds really low, the Sena voice basically is blowing out my eardrum. So I get it. That's kind of to figured out. I do like the way the volume increases when the noise around increases. As you get to higher speeds, the volume will increase. So it's nice. I'm actually kind of enjoying that. But with that Vox sensitivity, I've had a little trouble connecting with a friend over his Sena Bluetooth headset. And we weren't using mesh, unfortunately. We were using Bluetooth. But while I was connected to him, his unit was fine. He could talk to me. And when we weren't talking, he would have music. But when we weren't talking, I wouldn't get music playing at higher speeds. When I'd enter like a city or I had to slow down or something, the music would kick in. But, at normal speeds, just like this even, going 50 miles per hour on a back road, it'd be dead silence, neither of us talking, and the music wouldn't be on. So I may have to fiddle around with that a little more. Yeah, sorry for the jump cut there. Jump cuts probably don't work too well when I'm on a motorcycle because of the distance and time gap. But boy, it's so beautiful back here. Yes, I love being back in these back roads. Yeah, so another problem with the unit is I can't get the marking of a clip to work. So basically, there's this setting when you're in loop recording on here. When you have it constantly recording, you can press the button or, tell Sena to do it, but you can say, tag video. And when you tag video, it'll dump a minute before, a minute during, and a minute ahead of the thing so you can mark it. And that'd be actually really incredible to use. I'd like to do that. But it's not working at all. I might have to try to do a factory reset on the Sena, see if it works. But right now the tagging just isn't working. It's dumping everything into the events folder. And it's just recording 3-minute clips at a time with no tagging. So I really like that feature to work because, as I get on these trips, I would like to try keeping this on the whole time. Now, let's get to that part. It's another thing. It's number 5. Now, I don't keep this on all the time. I don't keep it recording the whole time while I'm on a trip. I have this, the Insta360, plugged into my USB connection and have a huge terabyte card in there. And it's constantly recording. And what I do is I'll turn the camera on to preserve battery so I don't go dead at the end of the day or even during the day with it. You know, it's a pain to, I don't know how I'm going to connect this up to a battery pack, or I might just wire like a USB down here to just plug into it. It's not a bad idea. But I might also be able to just charge it up for a half hour to 40 minutes to, or whatever, even 15 minutes when I'm at breaks, because, you know, I'm fairly certain this does have QuickCharge. Because, you know, it'll get down to like 45% while I'm using it. And then, you know, I'll go with like my group and we'll pull over for a half hour or so. And during that half hour of that break, it's fine. Oh, I got to see which turn I'm up here. Let's stay right. Okay. Don't go this way. Go this way. Yeah, so I haven't done that yet, and I'd like to. But I'm sorry, I would like to keep the unit on all day. And I'd like to use video tagging to go back to record events. I think that would be a great way to record my trips, honestly. And, you know, it might be enough to just have it, you know, to pull over every hour or so and just charge it up for 15 minutes to an hour. You know, if we're getting, you know, pulling over for a break or a soda or something, or we're pulling over for lunch or whatever, it charges up pretty fast. So I might take advantage of that. Now, you know, this is the Harley Davidson unit, and please go see my past video if you haven't seen it already, because this is a different one. And in this one, I'm trying to keep my voice matched with the unit. Even though One Take Sunday is about voiceovers, whoever's left that last comment in my last video. But please watch the last video, because well, I do believe at this point in time, they are the same unit, the 50C, the Sena 50C and the Harley Davidson 50C. And obviously with this Harley Davidson 50C, I'm using the same exact applications as the Sena. They're Sena branded, do. But, you know, this has the Fosgate speakers. And this might have a QuickCharge option where I'm fairly certain it has a QuickCharge option where I'm not sure that the Sena 50C, the regular branded unit, does. I don't know. So yeah, I might be able to do that all day. You know, just stop and plug it in. But I also want to try plugging it in and having it on me. I don't like the idea of being more wired than I am now. But it just might have to do that to give it a try. Ooh, cherries. Hello. Yeah, so I'm going to ride on a little bit more here and see. Oh, is that a horse? Hello, horse. Ride on a little bit here, and if something comes to mind, which I'm sure it will, I'll bring that up. You know, another thing that I do like about this are these Rockford Fosgate. Wow, that's a beautiful house, isn't it? Top of the hill there. Another thing I like are these Fosgate speakers. Boy, they sound so good. I really love the sound. You know, I've never had, you know, I've always bought really cheap audio equipment on a motorcycle. And, you know, spending this kind of money, $500 for a unit, you know, I expect really good audio, and I think it does have really good audio. Like in the stereo sound, you know, when music is coming out the left or the right side, you can really not only hear the teeter of the music between the speakers, but just even all the instruments come through really clearly. It's really nice. Another thing that was asked in my last comments was, with a full helmet, am I able to keep the helmet itself out of the shot? Well, believe it or not, this is a full helmet. So check this out. It's out of the shot, which is good. Oh no, my 360's back. Look at those windmills. Let's see how well they pick these windmills up. So yeah, the helmet stays out of the shot. Sorry for the jump cut there too. There's so much beauty out here. Oh my gosh, look at these guys. It's windy out this side. It wasn't windy on the other side of the of Mount Diablo. It's windy up here today. It's also 85 degrees here. It's only 70s back over there. And the positioning of the helmet, you know, the cam, I think it's in a good position now. I really love the way this clip works, because it has great such positions that you can really dial in the position you need. So I think this is dialed in now. I was getting a little too much of the shot, like too much of my tank bag was in the shot and not enough for the horizon. So I think I finally got that settled now. I was also adjusting my Insta360 camera.
Here's some drone footage of my last camping trip to Clear Lake with the motorcycle camping group I belong to, which isn't up yet and hopefully will be soon. But hey, if you like these shots, please subscribe and check out my other videos. I'm still learning to make these, and we'll try to make the videos shorter, but it's really hard cutting out any footage. It's so beautiful on these trips. But maybe you're learning too, and if you are, please leave a comment. I would love to check your stuff out too. But hey, there is a learning curve to the 50C, and I'm still getting used to that curve, as you can tell from this past video. Things like getting the gain of the mic right so it doesn't peak out in the post, or sending it out to you guys, or connecting with other headsets for communication, which has always been an issue with headsets in general. If you've used these things, it can be a little frustrating. It does work well, but if Apple made a headset, it would just work. You'd connect and then you'd tweak your settings as you go along, and I don't think it'd be as frustrating. But it's just the world of motorcycle communication devices, the way it is right now. And one of the things I'm also frustrated with is the video tagging. I can't get it to work. I emailed Sena, and luckily they didn't dump me to Harley Davidson, with this being a Harley Davidson branded unit. And they said to do a factory set, and I will try that, but I'm skeptical of it working. I'm probably going to waste a lot of time to email them back and say it doesn't work. But in fairness, and have been in tech support as and I'm a computer programmer and stuff, I get it. You got to follow the methodologies of trying to resolve the problem. So I'll try to resolve that, and I will let you know how that goes in the next video. Overall, I really have to say I love the 50C. It's a great unit. Right now other reviews are trickling out and there's a lot of hate for it. And, I get it. It's a $500 unit, and not to have better video stabilization, it's disappointing. But could you use this camera as a logging camera? Absolutely you could. I used only a cheap Maxto M3 for trips. And I'm going to throw that video up, the last one I did before I created this channel. I'll throw that up and, check that out. I used just a cheap Maxto M3, which is way worse. I mean, way, way worse than the 50cc footage. And, if you like that, and I like it, I still look back on it, and they're still pretty good videos. But if you like that, imagine what you can do with this 50C unit. You can do a lot. And, if you plan on using it like I currently do, as another camera angle and recording audio, because it records audio really well, I think it'll work really well for you. And, and don't forget, this is a great way to listen to music. It's even though communication has been tricky to set up, when it's set up, it's really great to be able to, like listen to music or music share, or when you're paused in the conversation, music will play. Like things like that are really great to have and really wonderful. So, it's just what it boils down to is all that worth the $500 price tag. And, that's an answer only you can answer.
Hey, Sena, stop recording.